I'm in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Uh, on the way back from South Africa, and we took a 1 day's or 2 days layover just to see Addis. First time for us in Ethiopian Airways Airlines also. Mixed experience, some good, some not so good. But anyway, alhamdulillah, it was very nice. This is the view from my room in the Skylight Hotel. Very nice hotel, neat, clean, and efficient. That building there, which looks with those three domes, is a church. I'll come to this in a minute. So, alhamdulillah, this is the experience. We had a interesting time. Last night, we arrived landed here at 9 p.m. and eventually got to the hotel by 12:30. Now, you might say, well, since the hotel especially is literally walking distance from the airport, why did it take that long? It took that long because I had with me a small pair of binoculars. Now, believe it or not, for whatever reason, binoculars cannot be brought into Ethiopia without permission for that. So you have to apply for permission before you board your flight and you get it. I have no clue who you have to apply it from, who grants it, and how it is done. But this is just a heads up for anyone who's traveling or breaking journey in Ethiopia. If you are not breaking journey, it doesn't matter because you are on the plane and you are in transit in the airport. But if you have to leave the airport, for example, if you are breaking journey, or even if you are on a layover, when you will be allowed to leave the airport and go out, then if you are carrying binoculars, and also I discovered drones. I mean, I didn't have a drone, but somebody else had one, and he was on the same flight as I was. Then having, if you land here without that official government permission, then it's a long story. So they scan all the baggage. You go through the green lane in customs, but you have to put all your baggage onto the scanner, and it goes through. They are very efficient with that, but no matter how efficient you are, when a whole flight lands, hundreds of people, and everybody's got baggage, believe me, it's not a pleasant experience. First lifting, especially, and this is, I think, a reminder to myself to travel light. It's not a pleasant experience to first pick up heavy suitcases from the baggage carousel, load them onto the trolley, and then bring them to the scanner, then put them off to take them off the trolley, on the scanner, on the other end, back on the trolley. I mean, all of this takes a lot of effort, and if you don't lift right, then it's a very good chance of starting your layover or break journey with a pulled muscle or back pain, which I don't wish for anyone. So that is another reminder. So now when my baggage went through the scanner, they found the binoculars. The man asked me, the customs officer, he said, do you have binoculars? I said, yes. So can we see it? I said, of course. So I pulled it out. They saw it. He called another uniformed guy, whether it was customs or police or I don't know what. He came, asked for my passport, took those details, took a picture of the passport. He filled out a form himself. I mean, that was nice of him because it was all in Aramaic, the local language. He filled that form out, and then he walked me to baggage reclaim for Ethiopian, where there was this young lady. She went through the whole thing. She asked for my ticket, I had all those things on my phone. I mean, that's another reminder. Keep copies of everything. So I had all that. So she logged my little Nikon binoculars, and then she said to me, she gave me a receipt, and then a second lady came along and she said, we have to put this into our safe custody, and tomorrow or day after tomorrow when you come for your flight, you will have to come here and reclaim it. So I said, okay. So as we were walking with my binoculars, which I was holding, she gave it to me to hold, to the storeroom, she told me, I'm going to open this room, brace yourself. So I said, what? Oh, brace myself for what? She said, you'll see. And she opened the room, and that room was incredible. There were hand carry-on bags or carry-on suitcases, and Allah knows what. I mean, it was just piled. Everything was piled one on the other. There are shelves and so on, and there's the floor. But the only place that didn't have a bag clinging to it was the ceiling, and the only reason for that is because there's gravity. So this whole thing was there. Then she said to me, now I'm going to put this binoculars. She said, there are cameras all over here. I'm going to put these binoculars onto this shelf, and this shelf was, I couldn't reach the shelf. I mean, and she said, do you want me to help you? I said, of course. So then she helped me, very kind of her, and she put the binoculars onto the shelf. And she said, good luck. Tomorrow when you come, I hope you can find it. So I still haven't been rejoined with my binoculars. So I shall report to you what happens. But this is the story. Eventually we came to the hotel by about 12 o'clock. Now my main reason for saying this story or telling you this story is because one of the delightful things I discovered was that in this entire episode, the behavior of the customs people, the behavior of the police guy, if he was the police guy, the behavior of the airline staff is absolutely amazing. Extremely polite, very friendly, very nice. They work at their own pace. I mean, that's why it takes, it took them 2 hours to do this job. But very, very polite, not a sign or not not anything that can be considered to be either rude or oppressive or absolutely no signal or nothing to say that somebody was looking for a bribe. Nothing at all. Nobody ever asked for it. Nobody ever implied it. Nobody ever signaled it. Very polite, very decent. I'm saying it was almost like it was a pleasure to to go through this whole experience. Now, I don't mean that literally, obviously. So, if you are intending to come to Ethiopia, please get the permits. What Ethiopian Airlines should do is to really put this onto all their promotional material, and travel agents should be told to mention this to their customers, and this should also be on their on the tickets or wherever, right? To say that this, because it's a I don't know any other country where this is required. The binoculars have to be pre-registered, and permission has to be sought and granted before you can travel with them. Especially because people come to Ethiopia or Addis Ababa on the way to South Africa, on the way to many countries where they go specifically to view wildlife and to take photographs of wildlife, and that's why they carry binoculars. If you just go to some place for business, you don't carry binoculars. You carry binoculars because you are going on these wildlife or nature holidays, and so the binoculars are there. So if people are carrying binoculars and so they fly Ethiopian, because this is now the new. It's an 80-year-old airline, but it's now become a new sort of trend to travel Ethiopian. It's a pretty good airline. So then people are stuck with this thing, and they don't know. And believe me, it's not pleasant. It is not pleasant to be going from one room to another room and filling forms and whatnot at middle of the night. As I told you, the people are very nice. In most places I've seen, you put a uniform on a man and he instantly turns into a demon, but not Ethiopians. Ethiopians are very, very nice. As I told you, all the usual suspects, customs officers, police people, and so on, who you expect that they will try to oppress you or try to get a bribe out of you or something. Absolutely nothing of the sort. No, not even a hint of that. Very nice people. So that was the good and the bad, as you might want to see it. So this is the update from here, and more inshallah. We stopped over here to really for one reason only, and that was to meet my dear friend Yahya, who's also one of my students from Springfield College, and he's been here. He's started his own business, and he's read my book, and he tells me that that's what gave him the idea to start his business, and he is here. So that's why we stopped over. Alhamdulillah, it was wonderful to see him last night. Poor guy, he was standing outside the airport waiting for us to come out for 3 hours, without having a clue of what's going on. Anyway, all the very best to everybody.